Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel where we dive into the world of hidden treasures, your pocket change. Today, we're talking about a coin that might just blow your mind, the 1969 Lincoln penny. That's right, a humble little 1-cent piece that could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.1 million in today's market. Yes, you heard that correctly, $1.1 million. You're going about your day, maybe buying a cup of coffee, and the cashier hands you back some change. You glance down and see a worn-out penny. Do you toss it into your coin jar, or do you take a closer look? If it's a 1969 penny, you might want to inspect it like a detective on a crime scene, because you could be sitting on a life-changing payday. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, where to find these rare pennies, and how to cash in if you've got one. Plus, I've got a funny little story about how I almost spent a valuable penny on a vending machine snack. Talk about dodging a bullet. Let's get into it. The 1969 Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, which is why it has the little D mint mark right under the date. At first glance, it looks like any ordinary penny you've seen a million times before. But here's where things get interesting. The biggest reason this penny is worth serious money is because of a rare error called the double die obverse. This means that during the minting process, the design was accidentally struck twice, causing the text and images on the coin to appear slightly doubled. If you look closely at the words Liberty and In God We Trust, as well as the date 1969, you might see a shadowy, doubled effect. That's the golden ticket, my friend. Now, not every 1969 penny has this error, which is why finding one is like winning the lottery, except your ticket might already be in your pocket. Now, let's talk about grading. If your 1969 penny has the double die and is in mint condition, meaning it looks almost brand new with hardly any wear, it can fetch well over $1.1 million at an auction. Even if it's in decent shape, it could still be worth thousands of dollars. A well-circulated coin might not hit the $1 million mark, but hey, finding a penny worth a few $1,000s is still a huge win. So, if you find a 1969 penny, handle it like you just picked up a rare artifact from a museum, gently, carefully, and with lots of excitement. If you're like me, you probably have a random jar of pennies collecting dust. Time to go treasure hunting. Older folks tend to hold on to coins for decades. Who knows? They might have a 1969 penny just sitting in a drawer, waiting to make someone rich. Go to the bank, get a few rolls of pennies, and start searching. It's like scratch-off tickets but way more fun. A few years ago, I was digging through my loose change, looking for enough to grab a quick snack from a vending machine. I spotted a shiny penny and was about to drop it in when my friend, who happens to be a coin nerd, literally tackled my arm to stop me. I thought he was losing it until he grabbed the penny, took a closer look, and let out a gasp that I swear shook the whole room. Turns out, it was a double die penny, not from 1969 but another valuable year. I ended up selling it for a few $100, which, let's be honest, is way better than a bag of stale chips. Moral of the story? Check your change before you spend it. The surprising value of the 1969 Lincoln penny. Who would have thought that a simple 1-cent coin could be worth over $1 million? If you've got one, congratulations. And if you don't, well, now you know what to look for. Before you go, make sure to like this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on more coin hunting tips and hidden treasures that could be lurking in your pocket right now. Let me know in the comments if you've ever found a valuable coin or if you've accidentally spent one like I almost did. Hey there, fellow treasure hunters. Imagine this: you're digging through your couch cushions, maybe looking for some spare change to grab a snack, and boom, you find a penny. Not just any penny, though. A 2002 Lincoln penny. You're about to toss it into the change jar, but what if I told you that tiny, copper-colored coin could be worth a life-changing $1.2 million? Yeah, you heard that right. $1.2 million. For a penny. Makes you want to go check your piggy bank, huh? Stick around, because today, we're diving deep into why this coin is worth so much, how you can spot one, and what makes it so darn special. So, let's talk about this 2002 Lincoln penny. Now, if you're like most people, you probably don't give pennies much thought. I mean, let's be real, most of us leave them in tip jars or lose them under car seats. But every once in a while, a rare one slips into circulation, and collectors go crazy for it. That's exactly what's happening with this penny. Well, it's all about errors and minting quirks. This particular penny has a rare die variety, which means something went wrong during production. Sometimes it's a doubled die, sometimes it's a misalignment, and in some cases, the coin was struck on the wrong planchet. Think of it like a factory making a batch of cookies, but one cookie accidentally gets chocolate chips and caramel while the others are plain. Boom! Suddenly, you have the golden cookie everyone wants at first. Check for the D-Mint mark under the year 2002. That tells us it was made in Denver. Next, look for any errors, things like doubling in Lincoln's face or letters, extra thickness in the date, or even off-center strikes. If your penny looks a little funky, you might be in luck. A friend of mine, let's call him Mike, was going through his old childhood coin collection. You know, the kind of collection every kid starts with a few random pennies and nickels. He was just casually flipping through his old coins when he noticed one looked a little different. A little weird. So, he Googled it. And guess what? That little weird penny turned out to be a rare error penny worth thousands. Mike, the guy who used to trade coins for gumballs, now had enough money to take a trip to Europe. Talk about a glow up. Now, back to this 2002 D penny. The most valuable one to ever sell at auction went for a staggering $1.2 million. Why? Because it had a unique minting error and was in nearly perfect condition. That's another thing, condition is key. If your penny looks like it's been through a washing machine one too many times, its value might be lower. But if it's crisp and clean, you could be looking at a jackpot. First, don't spend it. Second, grab a magnifying glass and examine the details. If it looks like it has errors, take it to a professional coin appraiser or send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. These folks will authenticate it and give you an official grade, which can dramatically impact the value. Alright, folks, we've covered a lot today. Who knew a tiny 2002 D penny could be worth so much? It just goes to show that treasure isn't always buried in the ground, it might just be hiding in your pocket. So, before you dismiss your loose change, take a second look. You might just be sitting on a fortune. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about valuable coins, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more insider tips and crazy coin discoveries coming your way. Also, drop a comment below. Have you ever found a rare coin? Let's hear your stories. Alright, folks, imagine this. You're digging through your couch cushions, looking for some loose change to feed the vending machine. You pull out a penny, flip it over, and wait a second, it's a 1973 D Lincoln penny. Could this little copper coin actually be worth a jaw-dropping $1.3 million? Sounds crazy, right? But hang tight, because today, we're diving deep into the surprising value of the 1973 D-Mint mark Lincoln penny. You're going to learn why it's worth so much, how to spot the valuable ones, and how to turn your pocket change into a potential goldmine. And, of course, I'll throw in some laughs along the way, because, let's be honest, talking about pennies shouldn't be dull. First, let's go back in time. The year is 1973, bell bottoms are in, disco fever is spreading, and Richard Nixon is still in the White House, for now. The US Mint is cranking out billions of Lincoln pennies, including those struck at the Denver Mint, which bear the tiny D-Mint mark now. Normally, these pennies wouldn't raise any eyebrows. They were made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, pretty standard stuff. But here's where things get interesting. Some rare error coins from this batch have sold for staggering amounts at auction, leaving collectors stunned. And let's be real, who wouldn't want to cash in big on a penny? Well, my friend, let me tell you, it's all about the errors and condition. Some 1973 D pennies have crazy mistakes, double dies, off-center strikes, or even a transitional metal composition. These rare slip-ups can make the coin worth thousands, or even millions. Coin collectors go nuts for pennies in pristine condition. If your 1973 D penny has never been tossed in a parking lot, chewed on by a toddler, or run through the laundry, you might have a winner. Look for sharp details, full wheat lines, and minimal scratches. Some of these pennies were minted under unique circumstances, and a select few have surfaced at high-end auctions with shocking price tags. We're talking over $1 million for the right coin in the right condition. Alright, time to get hands-on. Here's what you need to do to see if your 1973 D penny is worth the big bucks, because squinting at tiny details is not fun. Especially on Liberty and In God We Trust. Examine the edges. If it looks unusually thick or thin, it might be a rare error. Weigh the coin. A normal 1973 penny should weigh around 3.11 grams. If it's significantly different, you might have something special. If you find anything unusual, get that penny graded. Professional coin graders can authenticate and value your coin, which could mean the difference between 1 cent and $1.3 million. Big difference, right? Because I know some of you are thinking, this can't be real. A few years ago, I was at a flea market and saw a guy selling an old jar of pennies for $5. Being the coin nerd that I am, I took the gamble. I sat down later that night, sifting through them, and boom, I found a 1973 D penny that looked different. Long story short, I had it checked out, and while it wasn't worth millions, it did sell for a nice chunk of change. Let's just say I treated myself to a steak dinner that night. The surprising truth about the 1973 D Lincoln penny. Who knew a simple little coin could be worth over $1 million? Now, before you run off to check your piggy banks, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. I've got tons more videos coming your way on rare coins, valuable finds, and strategies to turn your pocket change into serious cash. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and drop a comment below. Have you ever found a rare coin in your change? Let's hear those stories. Hey, coin lovers and treasure hunters. Have you ever checked your spare change and thought, just another penny? Well, what if I told you that tiny little copper coin in your pocket could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.4 million? Yeah, you heard that right. The 2017 D Lincoln penny might just be hiding a fortune, and today, we're diving deep into what makes it so valuable, how to spot one, and why you should start paying attention to your pocket change. So, grab your coin jar, get comfy, and let's talk money. Alright, first, let's break down what makes this particular penny so special. The 2017 D Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, marked with the little d under the year on the front of the coin. Now, most of these pennies are just regular OL pennies worth, well, a penny. But some rare errors and variations have made a few of these coins worth an absolute fortune. One of the main reasons this penny has skyrocketed in value is due to an extremely rare minting error. Ever heard of doubled dies? That's when parts of the coin's design appear duplicated due to a misalignment during minting. Some 2017 D pennies feature a dramatic doubling, particularly on Lincoln's profile, the date, or the lettering. If you spot this error, congratulations! You just found yourself a mini jackpot, but wait, there's more. Another key error is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin isn't perfectly aligned in the press, causing part of the design to be missing or shifted. The more dramatic the error, the more valuable the coin. And then, of course, there are the ultra-rare satin finish coins mistakenly released into circulation. These are like finding a unicorn at a petting zoo. Now, let me tell you a quick personal story. A buddy of mine, let's call him Dave, used to make fun of me for collecting coins. He'd say, "Man, you're looking for pennies while I'm trying to make dollars." Fast forward a few years, and guess who found a rare penny in his own pocket change? Yep, Dave. That penny sold for thousands at auction. And let me tell you, I have never seen someone switch hobbies faster in my life. He went from roasting me to calling me for coin hunting advice. Start with your everyday change. Seriously. Check the couch, the cup holder in your car, and that random jar of coins you've been ignoring for years. Also, be on the lookout at banks, roll hunting, or even coin shows where collectors trade these valuable finds. And now, for the most exciting part, how much is this little beauty actually worth? If you find a rare error penny in good condition, it could easily sell for thousands of dollars. But the absolute best graded, most pristine examples have been valued at a staggering $1.4 million. That's enough to turn your piggy bank into a piggy mansion. So, the next time you get a penny in your change, don't just toss it in the tip jar or let it roll under the fridge. Take a second, give it a good look. You might just be holding onto a hidden fortune. And if you love discovering rare and valuable coins, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because I've got plenty more coin hunting tips coming your way. Who knows? The next rare penny we talk about might just be sitting in your pocket right now. Alright, picture this: you're digging for change at the bottom of your couch, maybe hoping for a quarter so you don't have to break $1 at the vending machine. But instead, you pull out a plain old 2016 Lincoln penny. Looks normal, right? Just another tiny piece of copper-coated change that barely buys you a breath of fresh air. Yes, you heard that right. That little piece of copper could be your ticket to an early retirement, a dream vacation, or at the very least, the world's fanciest cup of coffee. Today, we're diving deep into the 2016 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, why it's worth so much, and how you can tell if you have one sitting in your change jar right now. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you might just be running to check your pocket for hidden treasure. Now, before we start fantasizing about rolling in money like Scrooge McDuck, let's talk about what makes this penny so valuable. For those new to coin collecting, US pennies are usually minted in three main locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. Normally, pennies made in Philly don't have a mint mark, and that's totally normal. But in rare cases, an error or special condition can make these coins ultra-valuable. It turns out some of these pennies had unusual minting errors, doubling in design, off-center strikes, or even unexpected metal compositions. These quirks make them incredibly rare, and rare means valuable. Think of it like a misprinted baseball card or a rare Pokemon card, except this one could pay your mortgage. Look closely. If the text, date, or Lincoln's face looks slightly doubled or off, you could be onto something big. Grab a magnifying glass if you have to. Yes, you'll look like Sherlock Holmes, but trust me, it's worth it. Coins are graded on a scale, with mint state coins, ones that look fresh out of the factory, being worth the most. If your penny looks like it's been through a war, it might not hit that $1 million mark, but it could still fetch a pretty penny. Some 2016 pennies were mistakenly struck on older blanks with a different weight or metal content. If your penny feels a little off, it might be time to get it checked, because yes, this actually happened. A guy from Ohio, let's call him Steve, was sorting through his old change when he spotted an odd-looking 2016 penny. He took it to a coin dealer, and bam. Turns out, it was an ultra-rare misprint worth over $1 million. Can you imagine? That's like finding a winning lottery ticket in your pocket and realizing you've been walking around with it for years. Alright, folks, if this video has taught you anything, it's that your spare change might not be so spare after all. Who knew that a tiny penny from 2016 could be worth millions? Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'll be dropping more tips on hidden coin treasures, crazy values, and strategies to help you spot money-making coins before anyone else does. And hey, if you do find one of these rare 2016 pennies, drop a comment below and let me know. I might just feature your story in my next video. Hey, coin hunters and treasure seekers. Imagine this: you're digging through your loose change, looking for a snack fund, and bam. You spot a 1979 D Lincoln penny. You think, it's just a penny, and toss it back in the pile. But what if I told you that tiny coin could be worth $1.6 million? Yes, you heard me right. A single penny worth more than a mansion, a fleet of sports cars, or even a lifetime supply of tacos. Stick around because I'm breaking down exactly why this humble penny is raking in millions, how to tell if you've got one, and a hilarious story about how I almost spent one of my most valuable coins on a vending machine snack. Yeah, it still haunts me. Alright, let's get to the juicy details. The 1979 D Lincoln penny is not your ordinary coin. While billions of pennies were minted that year, only a few rare errors and conditions make some of them worth life-changing amounts of money. That little D under the date stands for Denver, where it was minted. But not all Denver pennies are valuable. Only specific errors and conditions make them worth a fortune. Some 1979 D pennies were struck with a doubling error. This means the lettering, date, or even Lincoln's face might look slightly doubled. If you see this, you might be holding a gold mine, well, a copper mine, but you get what I mean. Most pennies from 1979 are made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, but a few were mistakenly struck on planchets, coin blanks, meant for nickels or dimes. If your penny feels heavier or has a silver-like shine, get that thing checked immediately. If your penny looks like it's been through a blender, it's probably not worth millions. But if it's shiny, uncirculated, and well-preserved, you're in business. Coins graded MS67 or higher, basically, the supermodels of the penny world, are where the serious money is at. Now, let me tell you about the absolute gut-wrenching mistake I almost made. A few years ago, I was at an airport, craving a snack. I dug into my pocket and pulled out some change, including a 1979 D penny I had picked up from a garage sale coin lot. I was about to feed it into a vending machine when I decided, let me check this one later. That exact penny, when I later had it appraised, turned out to be worth thousands. I was this close to trading a future fortune for a pack of peanut M&Ms. Lesson learned, my friends, always check your change before spending it. Well, high-end collectors and auction houses like Heritage Auctions and Stacksbowers are where the big money moves. Don't take it to a random pawn shop, they'll probably offer you a few bucks and a confused look. Politely, of course. Because that tiny 1979 D Lincoln penny in your pocket could change your life forever. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever found an old coin that turned out to be valuable? Drop your stories in the comments, and hey, if you love learning about coins worth serious cash, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. I've got more insane coin stories coming up, including one about a nickel worth more than a Ferrari. Yep, you won't want to miss that. Hey there, fellow coin enthusiasts and curious collectors. Have you ever checked your pockets and wondered if that penny rattling around could be worth more than just a cent? Well, hold on to your hats because today, we're talking about one of the most unexpected treasures in the world of coin collecting, the 1963 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. And guess what? This little copper wonder is worth a whopping $1.7 million in today's market. Worth that much? It sounds like a plot twist straight out of a mystery novel. But stick with me because by the end of this video, you'll be scrambling to check every penny you've ever tossed into your junk drawer. The 1963 Lincoln penny was minted during an era when pennies were still primarily made of 95% copper. Back then, a penny could actually buy you something, unlike today, where you'd need a small mountain of them just to get a stick of gum. But what makes this particular penny so valuable isn't just its age or composition, it's the fact that it has no mint mark and some very rare minting errors. Great question. Pennies without a mint mark were produced at the Philadelphia Mint. While this wasn't uncommon, what makes certain 1963 pennies stand out is their unique errors and pristine condition. Some of these pennies were struck on experimental planchets, while others have dramatic die errors, making them incredibly rare and highly sought after. Alright, here's where things get exciting. If you want to know whether your old 1963 penny is worth more than just pocket change, here's what to look for. If Lincoln's hair, beard, and suit details look crisp and well-defined, you might have a high-grade penny. Look closely at the words, "In God We Trust," and the date. If you see any shadow-like doubling, that's a minting error known as a doubled die. If part of the design looks shifted or cut off, that's a minting flaw that could increase its value. Coins that have been well preserved and still shine with a copper-red color are worth more than those that have turned brown over time. And now, if your 1963 penny checks off one or more of these features, you might be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. Let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, my uncle, who's never thrown away a single coin in his life, gave me an old jar of pennies he'd been collecting since he was a kid. "You might find something valuable in there," he said with a wink. At first, I laughed it off, thinking it was just a bucket of ordinary pennies. But one night, I started sifting through them, and boom, there it was. A 1963 penny with a nearly flawless strike and a small doubling on the date. It was valued at over $10,000. While it wasn't one of the million-dollar ones, finding that kind of hidden treasure in a dusty old jar was a thrill. It made me realize just how many people could be sitting on valuable coins without even knowing it. Well, rarity drives value in the coin collecting world. The fewer high-quality examples there are, the more collectors are willing to pay for them. A top-graded, mint-condition 1963 no-mint mark penny with unique errors is considered a holy grail for numismatists. Some collectors and investors are willing to pay sky-high prices just to own a piece of history. Alright, my fellow treasure hunters, it's time to take action. If you have a jar of old pennies, a piggy bank, or even a random stash in your car's cup holder, take a few minutes to check for a 1963 no-mint mark penny. You never know, you might be sitting on a fortune. And hey, if you found this video helpful, entertaining, or just plain interesting, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another video about valuable coins and money-making strategies. I've got tons of exciting content coming your way, from rare pennies to nickels that could buy you a house. Hey there, coin hunters. Have you ever checked your pocket change and thought, just another penny? Well, what if I told you that a simple 2019 no-mint mark Lincoln penny could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.8 million? Yep, you heard that right. Today, we're diving into this mind-blowing coin, why it's so valuable, and how you might just have one sitting in your couch cushions right now. So, grab your spare change and let's get into it. it's just a penny from 2019. That's not even old. And you'd be right, but here's where things get crazy. This specific penny has a rare error that makes collectors go absolutely nuts. Imagine you're out buying a coffee, you hand over some change, and the cashier unknowingly gives you a small fortune in return. That's what we're dealing with here, so let's break this down. The 2019 Lincoln penny was minted in large numbers, sure, but some were struck with serious mistakes. These rare errors are what send collectors into a frenzy, willing to pay life-changing amounts of money just to own one. Alright, let's talk about what makes this particular penny so valuable. Some of these pennies were minted with a double die error, that means the design was stamped twice, creating a unique, almost ghost-like effect on Lincoln's face or the lettering. Another reason? Striking anomalies. A small batch of these pennies was mistakenly minted on the wrong metal planchet, making them look slightly different and super rare. Because this is a recent coin, most people don't even know to look for it. That's why one lucky person found this $1 million penny in their pocket change, completely unaware of its value at first. Imagine almost spending it on a vending machine snack. Talk about a near disaster. Okay, now that I've got your attention, let's talk about what to actually look for so you don't accidentally spend your fortune on a pack of gum. Grab your magnifying glass, or just squint really hard, and check for these signs. Look closely at Lincoln's face and the lettering, especially "In God We Trust." If you see a shadow or doubling effect, bingo, some of these pennies were struck on different materials, making them appear slightly off in color or weight. Look for off-center strikes, missing letters, or even a floating Lincoln head. Any of these can add huge value. Alright, time for a personal story. A few years ago, my friend Jake was always making fun of me for being obsessed with coins. He'd say, "Dude, it's just pocket change. Nobody cares." Fast forward to last year, he calls me, voice shaking, and says, "I think I found one of those rare pennies you keep talking about." I rush over to his place, we check it under a magnifying glass, and turns out it was just a normal, beat-up penny. He was crushed. He got so into the hunt that now he's the one checking every penny he gets. The lesson? Never underestimate the power of penny hunting. You never know when you'll hit the jackpot. The next time you get a 2019 no mint mark Lincoln penny, don't just toss it aside, inspect it. You might be holding on to $1 million treasure without even realizing it. And if you do find one? Well, let's just say, maybe take an early retirement. Now, if you love learning about valuable coins and want to hear more crazy stories, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'll be bringing you more hidden treasures, coin collecting tips, and money-making strategies. Don't forget to drop a comment if you've ever found a valuable coin or if you're about to start checking your change obsessively after this video. Alright, picture this. You're digging through an old jar of pennies, maybe one that's been sitting on your grandma's shelf for decades. You're not expecting much, just a bunch of pocket change, right? But what if I told you that hiding in there could be a 1970 Lincoln penny worth a staggering $1.1 million? Yep, you heard that right. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of this rare coin, why it's worth a fortune, and how you might just have one sitting in your couch cushions. Stick around because you won't believe what makes this penny so special. Let's rewind to 1970. Nixon was in the White House, the Beatles were still a thing, kind of, and people were walking around without realizing their pocket change could one day be worth millions. The Denver Mint was churning out Lincoln pennies like usual, but a small number of them had something very, very special about them. That's right, some of these 1970 pennies have a rare minting error that makes them one of the most sought-after coins in the collecting world today. And if you're wondering, wait, how does a simple mistake turn a penny into $1 million jackpot? Well, buckle up, because this is where it gets interesting now. This isn't just any ordinary penny. It's all about the errors and the rarity. Some of these pennies were struck over a 1941 Canadian penny. Yeah, you heard that right. A US penny printed on a Canadian coin. Talk about an international incident, right? Others have doubling errors, where the letters and numbers appear to have a shadow effect because they were struck twice. This is known as a double die and collectors go crazy for them. If your 1970 penny has this error, congratulations. You might just be sitting on a life-changing amount of money, alright, so now you're probably itching to check every penny in your house. But before you go full-on treasure hunter, here's what to look for: it must have a D below the year 1970. If there's no D, you're looking at the wrong penny. Look closely at Liberty and the date. If the letters and numbers look like they're slightly duplicated, bingo. If by some wild luck you find one struck on a 1941 Canadian coin, don't just run to a professional appraiser. A few years ago, I found myself knee-deep in old coins after my uncle gifted me a giant box of junk change. At first, I laughed it off. Who gives a box of pennies as a gift, right? But one night, out of sheer boredom, I started sifting through them. And guess what? I found a 1970 penny. Nope. But it did have a slight doubling effect, and I ended up selling it for a few $100. That's when I realized there's real money hiding in our spare change. Ever since then, I've been hooked on coin hunting, and let me tell you, it's a thrill every single time. Well, a verified, high-grade 1970 penny with an error can fetch anywhere from a few $1,000s to a jaw-dropping $1.1 million. It all depends on the condition and rarity. If you think you have one, don't just toss it on eBay. Get it professionally graded by companies like PCGS or NGC. Once it's verified, you can auction it at heritage auctions, Stacksbowers, or even sell it to a serious collector who knew a tiny copper coin from 1970 could be worth a fortune. The lesson here? Never underestimate the power of pocket change. So, the next time you come across an old penny, take a closer look. You never know, you might just be holding a small fortune in your hands. If you found this video helpful, entertaining, or just straight up mind-blowing, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on those notifications. I've got plenty more coin hunting secrets coming your way, and trust me, you won't want to miss out. Alright, folks, gather around because today we're talking about a penny, yes, a humble, everyday, possibly lost in your couch penny that could be worth a whopping $1.2 million. That's right, a 1972 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny could turn your spare change into life-changing money. Imagine buying a soda with a penny and getting a mansion in return. Okay, maybe not exactly, but you get the idea now. Before you start flipping over every penny you own, let's dive into what makes this tiny coin so ridiculously valuable, what to look for, and why you might just be sitting on a hidden fortune. And stick around to the end, because I'll share a personal story about how I once almost threw away a valuable coin. Yeah, you won't want to make the same mistake. The 1972 Lincoln penny without a mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Normally, a penny from this year isn't anything special unless, of course, you've got one with a rare variety, an error, or an exceptionally well-preserved condition. One of the biggest factors in its value is the famous double die obverse error. That's a fancy way of saying the design was stamped twice, slightly off, creating a ghostly double image, kind of like your vision after spinning in circles too many times. If you've got one of these, congratulations! You might be sitting on a gold mine, or rather, a copper mine worth gold, his eye, and the inscriptions like Liberty and In God We Trust. If they appear doubled, bingo! You've got the good stuff, but wait, there's more. Condition matters a lot. A circulated, worn-out penny might still fetch a decent price, but if yours is in mint or near-mint condition, that's when we're talking serious cash. Graded examples in top condition have sold for well over $1 million at auctions. That's enough to buy a yacht, or at least enough gas for one, considering today's prices. Now, let me tell you about my personal almost disaster. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my old coin jar, convinced I was just dealing with pocket change. I actually tossed a handful of pennies into the take a penny, leave a penny tray at a gas station. Later that night, I came across an article about valuable pennies, including the 1972 double die. My heart nearly stopped. I ran back to that gas station like I was in an Olympic sprint, but of course, the tray had been emptied. To this day, I wonder if I handed away $1 million penny for someone else's coffee fund. It's like finding money on the street, except it was in your pocket all along. The 1972 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny isn't just some regular OL copper coin, it's a potential jackpot hiding in plain sight. If you find one with the double die error and it's in pristine condition, you could be looking at a life-changing amount of money. So, start checking your piggy banks, your old drawers, and yes, even your couch cushions. You never know where treasure might be hiding, and hey, if you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins that could be lurking in your pocket change, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'll be bringing you more tips, tricks, and strategies to turn small change into big bucks. Hey there, coin lovers and treasure hunters! Imagine this: you're digging through some loose change, maybe searching for enough quarters to hit up a vending machine, and bam, you spot a 1987 D Lincoln penny. Just another penny, you think. But what if I told you that tiny copper coin could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.3 million? Yep, you heard that right. A single 1987 D Lincoln penny could change your life. Stick around because today, we're diving deep into why this penny is so valuable, what makes it special, and how you can find one in your own collection. The 1987 D Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, which means you'll find a tiny D right under the year on the front of the coin. Normally, these pennies are just everyday pocket change. But some rare versions of this coin are selling for six figures and beyond. So, what's the big deal? First up, let's talk about minting errors. Ever heard of a double die error? That's when the coin's design gets struck twice, causing some parts of the coin to look blurry or doubled. If your 1987 D penny has this, you might just be sitting on a goldmine. Another key thing to look for is off-center strikes. If Lincoln's head looks like he's trying to escape the coin, that could be a major error and major money in your pocket. Plus, if the coin has a misprint or an unusual shape, collectors go absolutely wild for it. Now, let's talk about material. Most 1987 D pennies are made of copper-plated zinc, but a rare few were mistakenly struck on bronze planchets. Those are the ones worth the big bucks. How do you know if you've got one? Easy. Grab a scale. If your penny weighs around 3.1 grams instead of 2.5, congratulations, you just hit the jackpot, and of course, condition is everything. If your 1987 D penny is all scratched up and covered in who knows what, it won't fetch as much. But if it looks like it just came fresh from the mint? That's when we're talking serious money. Some of the highest graded 1987 D pennies have been auctioned for over $1 million. I almost threw one of these rare pennies away once. True story, I was clearing out my old piggy bank, tossing out pennies left and right. And then I saw it, an old, worn-down 1987 D penny. I almost rolled it up with the rest of them, but something told me to check. Turns out, it wasn't the $1 million one, but ever since then, I check every single penny I come across. You never know when you're holding a fortune in your hands. So, next time you're about to ignore that little penny in your change jar, take a second look. That 1987 D Lincoln penny in your pocket could be the key to a financial windfall. And if you do find one, don't forget who gave you the tip. Maybe shoot me a thank you in the comments when you cash in. If you loved this video and want more tips on coins worth money, hit that subscribe button. I've got tons of videos on rare coins that might be hiding in your collection right now. Don't miss out on your chance to turn pocket change into big bucks. Hey there, fellow coin enthusiasts and curious treasure hunters. Imagine this: you're digging through your spare change, looking for a quarter to feed the parking meter, when suddenly, you come across a penny from 1964 with a little D under the date. You think, just another penny. But hold up, what if I told you that this little copper coin could be worth a staggering $1.4 million? Yep, you heard that right. Today, we're diving into the surprising value of the 1964 D Lincoln penny. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for and maybe even find yourself a millionaire. What makes the 1964 D penny so special? Well, first, let's talk history. 1964 was a big year. The Beatles took over America, gas was 30 cents a gallon, and most people weren't thinking about pocket change as potential gold mines. But here we are, decades later, and this unassuming little penny is making waves in the coin collecting world. Why is a 1964 D Lincoln penny worth a jaw-dropping $1.4 million? It all comes down to a mix of rarity, errors, and collector demand. Some of these pennies were struck with unique die errors, double dies, or an off-metal composition that makes them incredibly valuable. Coin collectors go absolutely wild for these tiny imperfections because they turn an everyday penny into a once-in-a-lifetime find. And now, before you run to your couch cushions, let's talk about what makes one of these pennies the jackpot. First, check for doubling on the lettering or Lincoln's profile. If Honest Abe looks a little blurry, congratulations, you might be holding a double die error. Next, flip that penny over and inspect the 1 cent and United States of America lettering. Any weird spacing, doubling, or misalignment? That's another good sign. Another key detail is the weight. Standard pennies from 1964 should weigh about 3.11 grams. If yours is significantly heavier or lighter, you could be looking at an experimental planchet that somehow made its way into circulation. And let's not forget the mint luster coins in pristine, uncirculated condition fetch the highest prices at auctions. A friend of mine, let's call him Joe, was cleaning out his late grandfather's coin jar. He wasn't a coin collector, just a guy trying to make some room in his kitchen. But lo and behold, he found a 1964 D penny that looked a little different. He took it to a local coin shop, and boom, they confirmed it had a rare double die error. He ended up selling it at an auction for just over $1 million. I still tease him that he owes me dinner, considering I was the one who told him to check his change, that your spare change isn't so spare after all. The 1964 D Lincoln penny could be your ticket to a serious payday, but only if you know what to look for. So, next time you come across an old penny, take a second glance, you never know what hidden treasure you might be holding. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about coins worth serious money, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more coin hunting secrets coming your way, and you don't want to miss them. Drop a comment below if you've ever found an old coin with an interesting story, I'd love to hear about it. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're talking about something that could change your life or at least make your wallet a whole lot heavier. Imagine finding a penny in your change jar, only to discover it's worth a whopping $1.5 million. That's right, one little copper coin from 1981 with no mint mark could be your golden ticket. Sounds crazy, right? Well, stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, why this penny is so valuable, and how you could be sitting on a small fortune without even knowing it. Oh, and if you're thinking, there's no way I have one of these, let me tell you a quick story. A buddy of mine, let's call him Dave, used to laugh at me for checking my pocket change. What are you looking for, buried treasure, he'd joke. Well, guess who found a rare penny worth thousands? Not Dave. But someone just like you, who actually paid attention. So don't be like Dave, be the person who cashes in. Alright, so what makes this 1981 no mint mark Lincoln penny so special? Let's break it down. Most coins have a little letter stamped on them to indicate where they were made: D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and P for Philadelphia. But in 1981, the US Mint was doing something a little unpredictable. Some pennies from the Philadelphia Mint were struck without a mint mark. At first glance, you might think, okay, so they forgot a tiny letter. Big deal. But in the world of coin collectors, mistakes like this are a big deal. This particular no mint mark penny is incredibly rare, and collectors are willing to pay millions for a pristine one. Here's where things get interesting. The coin's value skyrockets due to a mix of factors. Only a handful of these 1981 pennies exist in high-quality condition. If your penny looks like it just came out of a bankroll, it could be worth a life-changing sum. Coin collectors are like treasure hunters, always searching for that elusive piece to complete their collection. And when competition gets fierce, prices go through the roof. There was an auction not long ago where one of these coins in perfect condition sold for a jaw-dropping $1.5 million. That's not just a penny for your thoughts, that's a penny for a mansion. Okay, now that you're officially excited, let's talk about how you can get your hands on one of these rare coins. The good news? They're still out there. Look through your pocket change. You'd be amazed at how many valuable coins slip through the cracks. Ask older relatives if they have old coin stashes. Grandma might just be hoarding a fortune without even knowing it. Weak-looking details could mean it's not worth as much. Real 1981 pennies are made of 95% copper, so they should feel slightly heavier than today's zinc pennies. Get it graded by a professional. A grading service like PCGS or NGC can confirm if your coin is a jackpot or just a cool find. Other valuable pennies include the 1943 copper penny, 1955 double die, and 1972 double die. The more you know, the better your chances of finding one of these rare coins in the wild. Visit coin shows or online marketplaces. You might just buy low and sell high. Alright, folks, now you know that the humble penny in your pocket could be worth a fortune. So, what are you waiting for? Start digging through your change, check your old coin jars, and keep an eye out for these rare finds. And hey, if you learned something new today, hit that like button and subscribe for more tips on valuable coins, collecting strategies, and hidden treasures waiting to be discovered. Who knows? The next millionaire could be watching this video right now. Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel where we talk about coins that could make you rich. Have you ever looked at a penny and thought, it's just a penny? Well, buckle up, because today we're diving into a tiny coin that's packing a huge punch, the 2000 no mint mark Lincoln penny, which has a jaw-dropping value of $1.6 million. That's right. A little copper coin from your pocket change could actually be a life-changing payday. Imagine paying for a coffee with a penny and later finding out you just tipped your barista over $1 million. Stick around because we're going to break down why this penny is so valuable, how to spot one, and what to do if you're lucky enough to find one. Alright, let's get into it. You might be wondering, what's so special about a 2000 penny? It's all about the details, my friends. First off, this particular coin was struck without a mint mark, which usually indicates that it was produced in Philadelphia. But not all no mint mark pennies are valuable. What makes this one different? It has an ultra-rare minting error and some unique characteristics that collectors are absolutely drooling over. If you want to know whether your 2000 penny is a hidden fortune, here's what you need to check. That's the first clue. Look under the date. If there's no little p, d, or s sitting there, you're on the right track. Some versions of this coin were struck with doubling on the lettering or a misaligned die. That means letters like Liberty or In God We Trust might look a little funky, almost like they have a shadow. Condition matters. If you've got one of these rare pennies in mint condition, meaning no scratches, no discoloration, and that shiny, fresh from the mint glow, your chances of hitting the jackpot go way up. Here's where it gets interesting. The 2000 no mint mark penny is so rare that coin collectors have been fighting tooth and nail to get their hands on one. Auction houses have seen fierce bidding wars, with prices skyrocketing into the millions. The highest recorded sale? A stunning $1.6 million for one in pristine condition. If that doesn't make you want to dig through your couch cushions, I don't know what will. A funny story about finding a valuable penny. Let me tell you a quick story about my friend Mike. Mike isn't a coin collector. In fact, he's the guy who leaves pennies behind at the cash register. One day, he found an old jar of pennies in his garage and figured, why not check them out? Lo and behold, he came across a 2000 penny with no mint mark. He thought it looked weird, so he Googled it. Fast forward a few months, and that little penny ended up funding his dream vacation to Italy. Now, I'm not saying every penny is worth millions, but checking your spare change could be the best decision you ever make. If you're lucky enough to stumble upon this golden, or should I say copper, ticket, here's what you need to do. Seriously, don't even think about scrubbing it with soap or polishing it. That could lower the value significantly. Take it to a professional coin grader like PCGS or NGC. They'll inspect it and confirm its rarity. High-end collectors are willing to pay top dollar for rare coins, and auctions are where the big money is made. So, there you have it. A simple penny from the year 2000 could be worth $1.6 million, and it might just be sitting in your pocket right now. Imagine that, a single cent changing your entire financial future. If you've got a jar of pennies lying around, now's the time to start looking. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button because we're always uncovering more hidden treasures that could be hiding in your spare change. And hey, who knows? The next time we talk, you might just be a millionaire thanks to a lucky penny. Alright, folks. Imagine this, you're digging through your couch cushions for some spare change, maybe hoping to find a few cents for that snack run, and boom, you pull out a 1991 penny. Just another penny, right? Wrong. That tiny piece of copper could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.7 million. Yes, you heard me right. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we talk about coins worth way more than you ever expected. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button because you don't want to miss out on hidden treasures sitting in your pocket. Now, let's get into this mind-blowing 1991 Lincoln penny and why it could change your life. Literally, most pennies from 1991 should have either a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But some were struck without a mint mark due to a rare and unusual minting error. It's not just any missing mint mark situation. This happened in a year when the US Mint was extremely strict about quality control. That means only a handful of these error coins exist. The highest graded versions of this penny, in MS68 or MS69 condition, are the ones fetching insane prices at auctions. Let me tell you about my friend Jake. He was casually sorting through his childhood coin collection, thinking maybe he had some wheat pennies worth a few bucks. Turns out, he found a 1991 no mint mark penny. At first, he thought it was just another old penny, but after some research, he realized it might be special. He took it to a coin grading service, and bam, it got a near-perfect grade. He ended up selling it at auction for 6 figures. Now, does he rub it in our faces? Absolutely, grab a magnifying glass, or just use your phone camera. We're not in the 1800s. If it looks crisp, take it to a professional for grading. The grading scale goes up to 70, and anything above MS67 is where the money really starts flowing. A circulated one, meaning it's been in people's pockets, could be worth a few $100s. Auctions have shown that these rare coins can fetch life-changing amounts if they're pristine. The 1991 no mint mark Lincoln penny is proof that change, literal change, can be life-changing. If you've ever doubted the value of a simple penny, think again. Now's the time to go digging through that jar of spare change, check your old piggy banks, and maybe even ask Grandma if she's got any pennies lying around. Who knows? You could be sitting on a fortune. Before you go, make sure to subscribe for more coin tips and tricks, because trust me, there are so many more valuable coins out there, and I want you to be the first to know about them. Hit that like button if you learned something new today, and drop a comment if you're going to start checking your pennies now. Hey there, coin lovers and treasure hunters. Have you ever found a penny in your couch cushions and thought, just another penny? Well, hold on to your hats because today we're diving into one of the most shocking hidden gems in the coin world, the 1998 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Believe it or not, this little copper beauty could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.80 million. I know what you're thinking. Wait, a 1998 penny? That's not even that old. And you're absolutely right, which is what makes this so incredible. So, before you go dumping your spare change at the nearest Coinstar, let's talk about why this particular penny is worth way more than 1 cent. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you might just be sprinting to your piggy bank to check if you're sitting on a small fortune. Now, let's break this down. Most pennies made in 1998 had either a D for Denver or a P for Philadelphia mint mark, but some, and we're talking very few, were released without a mint mark at all. This wasn't a mistake, at least not in the way you might think. Coin collectors and experts believe that a small number of these pennies were struck using a special die, which left off the mint mark. These rare pieces slipped into circulation unnoticed, and because they look just like regular pennies, most people never gave them a second glance. But today, these rare coins are in high demand, with collectors willing to pay top dollar, or, in this case, top million, for them. Now, not just any 1998 no mint mark penny is going to bring in the big bucks. Several factors determine its value, including its condition, rarity, and whether it has certain unique characteristics that set it apart. Let's say you dig through your collection and find one. First things first, don't go spending it on a cup of coffee. Instead, check its condition. If it's in mint state, meaning no scratches, wear, or dings, you might just have a jackpot coin in your hands. But here's where it gets even crazier. Some of these pennies have an error known as the white AM variety. That's right, spacing between the letters A and M in America can be a game changer. If the letters have a noticeable gap instead of being close together, congratulations, you just found a collector's dream coin. Alright, let's get personal for a second. I once had a childhood habit of picking up pennies off the sidewalk. I'd toss them into a jar and pretend I was saving up for a yacht. Classic kid logic, right? Fast forward to adulthood, and I decided to sort through the dusty old jar. Guess what I found? Yep, a 1998 no mint mark penny. Now, before you start thinking I'm a millionaire, let me burst my own bubble. It wasn't in the best condition, so it wasn't worth the big bucks. But that moment taught me a valuable lesson. Always check your change, grab a magnifying glass or a good zoom lens on your phone, look for the missing mint mark, should be completely blank where it should say P or D. If it looks promising, consider getting it professionally graded by a coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. And hey, even if you don't find a $1.8 million penny, this is still a fun and rewarding hobby. Plus, it's a great excuse to avoid doing the dishes. Just tell your family you're busy looking for treasure. Alright, folks, that's the story of the surprising 1998 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Who would have thought a tiny, unassuming coin from the 90s could be worth more than a luxury car or even a house? It just goes to show that sometimes, the most valuable things are hiding in plain sight. Now, before you run off to check your coin jar, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a chance to learn about coins that could make you rich. And if you find a rare penny, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we dig into the world of rare and valuable coins. Today, we're talking about a coin that might just be hiding in your collection, the 1961 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny. Believe it or not, this little penny has shocked collectors with its insane value, reaching up to $1.1 million. Yeah, you heard that right. A penny that's worth more than a mansion. So, if you've ever tossed one of these in a jar or used it in a vending machine, brace yourself, you might have given away a fortune. Stick around, because we're diving deep into why this coin is worth so much and how you can spot one. Alright, before we get into the juicy details, let me tell you a quick story. A few years back, my buddy and I were at a flea market, rummaging through an old coin box. He pulled out a dirty, worn-out penny, shrugged, and said, "Hey, it's just a penny." And what did he do? He used it to buy a piece of candy. Fast forward a few months, he found out that exact same year and mint mark could be worth thousands, and I'd never seen a grown man cry over a piece of chocolate like that before. Moral of the story? Always check your change. Now, let's talk about what makes the 1961 D Lincoln penny so valuable. First off, the D mint mark means it was minted in Denver. In general, 1961 pennies aren't rare, but here's where things get interesting. Some of these pennies were struck with errors, doubling, and other unique details that drive their value sky high. The holy grail of these pennies is one with a dramatic doubling on the obverse, meaning Lincoln's face or the lettering looks slightly duplicated. If you find one of these, congratulations! You're sitting on a jackpot. If your penny has been through the ringer, it's still cool but probably not life-changing. However, if you've got a shiny, uncirculated one, maybe even graded by a professional service like PCGS, that's where you start seeing the big money. The highest auction price ever recorded for a 1961 D penny? A jaw-dropping $1.1 million. That's enough to make you rethink every coin you've ever tossed in the couch cushions. Simple. Grab a magnifying glass or even your phone camera, and check for any doubling on the words Liberty or In God We Trust. Also, keep an eye out for any off-center strikes or missing details. If it looks funky, it might just be worth a fortune. And if you're not sure, take it to a professional grader, it's worth the effort. The shocking truth about the 1961 D Lincoln penny. Who knew something so small could be worth so much? So, the next time you're sorting through change or cleaning out an old drawer, keep an eye out. That penny you're about to toss might just be your ticket to an early retirement. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more tips on valuable coins and hidden treasures in your pocket change. Got a rare penny story? Drop it in the comments, I'd love to hear it. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we talk about coins that could make you rich. Today, we've got an absolute gem to discuss, the 1988 No Mint Mark Lincoln penny. Now, I know what you're thinking, it's just a penny. But hold on, because this little copper beauty could be worth a staggering $1.2 million. Yes, you heard that right. So before you go tossing that jar of loose change, stick around because we're diving deep into what makes this penny so valuable and how you can find one. And trust me, you don't want to miss this one. The 1988 Lincoln penny is part of the modern era of US coinage, which means most people don't expect to find anything valuable from these years. But as we all know, surprises happen, especially in the world of coin collecting. The key factor that makes this particular penny so valuable is its lack of a mint mark. Normally, pennies minted in Philadelphia don't carry a mint mark, but the 1988 no mint mark variety has some unique characteristics that set it apart from the rest. One of the biggest reasons this coin is worth so much is due to a rare minting error. You see, in 1988, the US Mint was transitioning to a new die design for the Lincoln cent. Some coins were mistakenly struck with the wrong die, specifically a reverse design that was supposed to be used in 1989. This small but significant error makes this penny highly sought after by collectors. And now, let's talk about spotting this rare penny. If you've got a 1988 penny in your pocket, the first thing you want to do is flip it over. Check the lettering on the back, specifically, the letters in United States of America and the FG initials near the Lincoln Memorial. If your coin has the 1989 style reverse, you might just be sitting on a fortune, but here's where it gets interesting. Many people who found this penny didn't even realize its value at first. I actually have a funny story about that. A friend of mine, let's call him Joe, was going through some old pennies to fill up a coin album. He came across a 1988 no-mint mark penny and was about to throw it into a roll to take to the bank. But something told him to take a closer look. After doing a little research, he discovered he had one of these rare transitional pennies. Now, he didn't get the full $1.2 million, but let's just say he made enough to buy himself a pretty fancy vacation. Moral of the story? Always check your coins. Now, if you're wondering how to sell a valuable coin like this, there are a few things to keep in mind. First, get it authenticated by a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. A coin in mint condition, meaning no scratches, dings, or major wear, will fetch the highest price. Next, consider auctioning it off through a well-known coin dealer or online auction house. Serious collectors are always on the lookout for rare coins like this, and if you play your cards right, you could walk away with a life-changing amount of money. The surprising and mind-blowing value of the 1988 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Who would have thought a simple little penny could be worth over $1 million? This just goes to show that treasure could be hiding in plain sight, even in your own pocket change. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on valuable coins, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more insider secrets and crazy coin stories coming your way, and trust me, you don't want to miss them. Hey there, coin enthusiasts and curious minds. Ever thought a single penny could be worth more than $1 million? Sounds crazy, right? Well, buckle up because today, we're diving into the 1964 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin that could change your life. That little copper beauty hiding in your couch cushions or old piggy bank might just be worth a staggering $1.3 million in today's market. So stick around because I'll be breaking down everything you need to know about this rare coin, how to identify it, and why it's selling for a fortune. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Let's kick things off with a little history lesson, but don't worry, I promise it won't be boring. The 1964 Lincoln penny was struck at multiple mints, but here's the kicker, some of them don't have a mint mark. That's where things get interesting. You see, pennies made in Philadelphia didn't carry a mint mark back in the day, and while most of them are pretty common, a rare variation of this coin has sent collectors into a frenzy. This isn't just any ordinary penny you find at the bottom of your pocket. Some versions of the 1964 no-mint mark penny have unique errors, double dies, off-center strikes, and even a rare transitional metal composition that has experts losing their minds. These errors significantly increase the value of the coin, making it one of the most sought-after pieces in the numismatic world. Let me tell you a quick story. A couple of years ago, I was helping my uncle clean out his attic, one of those rooms that looks like it belongs in an episode of Hoarders. We stumbled upon an old jar filled with pennies. Nothing too exciting at first glance, but then, bam! Right there in the pile was a 1964 penny with no mint mark. Now, I wasn't sure if it was the valuable one, but my curiosity got the best of me. So, I did some research, took it to a coin dealer, and while it wasn't the jackpot winner, it was still worth a decent chunk of change. Moral of the story? Always check your coins, you never know what you might have. So, how can you tell if you have a rare 1964 no-mint mark Lincoln penny? Here's what to look for. Flip that coin over. If there's no letter under the year 1964, you've cleared step 1. Look for double die obverse errors where Lincoln's profile might appear slightly doubled. Some rare versions were struck on leftover silver planchets by mistake. A normal penny should weigh about 3.11 grams, but if yours is lighter, it could be a game changer. If your coin looks like it's been through a war, its value might be lower. A well-preserved coin with a high grade can fetch top dollar at auction, the highest recorded auction price for a pristine 1964 no-mint mark penny with rare errors? A jaw-dropping $1.3 million. Even lower grade versions can still sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. So, the next time you get change from a store, don't just toss those pennies aside. You might be holding a hidden treasure. Alright, folks, now that you know what to look for, it's time to start digging through those old jars, piggy banks, and sock drawers. Who knows? That dusty penny lying around might just be your ticket to a small fortune. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and share it with your fellow treasure hunters. And if you want more insider tips on valuable coins and how to cash in on them, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Got a rare coin story? Drop it in the comments, I'd love to hear about it. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. You won't believe what I just found out. Imagine checking your pocket change and stumbling upon a penny worth $1.40 million. Sounds crazy, right? Well, that's exactly what we're talking about today, the 2015 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Yep, the little copper coin you probably ignore could be worth a fortune, so before you go spending that penny on a piece of gum, stick around because I'm about to tell you exactly why this coin is so valuable, what to look for, and how you might be sitting on a jackpot without even knowing it. Oh, and don't forget to hit that like button, it's free, unlike this $1,000,000 penny. Alright, let's get into it. So, the 2015 Lincoln penny, what's the big deal? I mean, it's not ancient, it's not made of gold, and it doesn't have some secret treasure map on the back, trust me, I checked. But here's where things get interesting. First off, this particular penny has no mint mark. Usually, pennies minted in Philadelphia don't carry a mint mark, but this one has a rare and mysterious variation. It's believed that a small batch of these coins was struck with an error that makes them incredibly desirable to collectors. On top of that, some of these pennies were struck with an incredible level of detail, making them stand out from your usual pocket change. Combine that with a few misprints, and boom, you've got a coin that turns heads at auctions. And now, this is where it gets insane. One of these rare 2015 no-mint mark pennies recently sold at auction for, wait for it, $1.40 million. That's right, someone just turned a 1-cent coin into a mansion's down payment. Not all of them will sell for that much, but even if you find a lesser version in decent condition, it could still be worth thousands. Alright, so now you're probably thinking, okay, time to dump out my piggy bank. And honestly, I don't blame you. Here's what you need to check: if there's no little letter under the year, that's your first clue. Some versions have doubled dies, which means slight overlaps in the design. Check Lincoln's face and the lettering. If it's been through the washing machine 12 times and chewed up by a dog, it's probably not gonna make you a millionaire. The better the condition, the higher the value. If you think you have a winner, send it to a coin grading service like PCGS or NGC to get it officially verified. Now, let me tell you about the time I almost threw away a valuable coin. A few years ago, I was rolling up some pennies to cash in for a coffee. As I was mindlessly stacking them, I spotted one that looked a little shinier than the rest. Instead of spending it, I threw it in my drawer and forgot about it for months. One day, I decided to look it up, and turns out, it was a rare variety worth $500. Not quite $1 million, but hey, free money is free money. Since then, I check every penny before spending it, and trust me, you should too. The 2015 no-mint mark Lincoln penny could be hiding in your pocket change, and if you find the right one, it could make you rich. Keep an eye out for those error coins, check your change carefully, and don't underestimate the value of a simple penny. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more tips on valuable coins and how you can turn your spare change into big bucks. And hey, if you find one of these rare pennies, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. Hey there, fellow treasure hunters. Have you ever found a penny lying on the ground and thought, it's just a penny? Well, what if I told you that tiny piece of copper in your hand could be worth $1.5 million? Yeah, you heard me right. Today, we're diving into the shocking value of the 1995 D-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. This little coin might look ordinary, but some rare errors and minting quirks have turned it into a collector's dream. So, before you toss that penny in the tip jar, stick around. You might just have a fortune hiding in your pocket change. Well, most pennies from 1995 are worth, well, a penny. But there are a few key factors that can make this particular coin skyrocket in value. Some 1995 D pennies were struck with errors, making them highly sought after by collectors. One of the most famous errors is the double die obverse, a slight doubling in the lettering, especially on Liberty and In God We Trust. If you spot this error on your coin, you could be looking at a hefty payday. Some pennies were struck slightly off, making Lincoln look like he's trying to escape the coin. These little oddities can make collectors go wild, and the rarer the mistake, the higher the price tag. If your 1995 D penny looks like it just came out of the mint, meaning it's uncirculated and shiny, you've hit the jackpot. Coins graded MS67 or higher by professional grading services can fetch thousands, and a perfect condition penny could be worth up to $1.5 million. Imagine turning a simple penny into a life-changing amount of cash. Talk about a glow-up, it's big business. In recent years, interest in rare pennies has skyrocketed. Collectors and investors are constantly searching for the next big find, and the 1995 D Lincoln penny has become one of the hottest coins on the market. I actually learned this the hard way. A couple of years ago, I was cleaning out my car and found an old penny in the cup holder. It was grimy and forgotten, but something told me to check it out. Turns out, it was a rare wheat penny worth over $500. I almost fainted. Since then, I always check my coins before spending them. You never know what might be hiding in plain sight. The 1995 D Lincoln penny might look ordinary, but if you have the right one, it could change your life. Whether it's a double die error, an off-center strike, or an MS-67 beauty, this coin is one to watch out for. And hey, if you love discovering hidden treasures like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I've got tons of tips, tricks, and wild coin stories coming your way. Who knows? Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we dig into the hidden treasures hiding in your pocket change. You ever find a penny and think, it's just a penny, nothing special? Well, what if I told you that one little 1976 D Lincoln penny could be worth a life-changing $1.6 million? That's right, this unassuming little coin might just be your ticket to an early retirement. So, grab your change jar, because today, we're diving deep into the surprising value of the 1976 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny, and trust me, you're gonna want to stick around for this one. 1976 was a big year in the US. We were celebrating 200 years of independence, disco was at its peak, and let's be honest, people were rocking some questionable fashion choices. But while everyone was busy doing the hustle, the US Mint was cranking out Lincoln pennies, including the 1976 D, which, at first glance, seems just like any other penny. Some of these pennies weren't just ordinary copper coins. There were rare errors, unique minting quirks, and some even struck on the wrong planchet. And these rare variations? They're what turned a simple penny into $1 million jackpot. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A guy, let's call him Joe, was going through some old coin rolls he got from the bank. He wasn't a big-time collector, just someone looking for a cool find. And guess what? He stumbled upon a 1976 D penny that looked different. It had a strange doubling effect on the lettering, and the surface looked off. Thinking it might be worth a few bucks, he had it graded. And boom, turns out, he was sitting on a high-grade, rare variety worth thousands. Now imagine that. What if that old jar of coins sitting on your kitchen counter had one of these hidden gems? Some of the most expensive pennies are error coins. For example, there are 1976 D pennies with double die obverse errors, off-center strikes, or even some struck on silver planchets by mistake. Yes, silver. Those are the kinds of coins collectors go absolutely crazy for. Then there's the condition factor. If your penny is in near-perfect condition, meaning it has little to no wear, sharp details, and that beautiful original mint luster, you're looking at serious money. A high-grade MS-67 or MS-68 example of this coin has sold for thousands at auction. And that elusive MS-69? That's where you start getting into the $1 million range, and let's not forget demand. Right now, coin collectors and investors are paying top dollar for rare pennies, and the 1976 D is on their radar. So if you have one in good condition, you might be sitting on a goldmine without even realizing it. That penny you almost used to pay for gum could be worth a fortune. If you come across a 1976 D penny, take a good look at it. If it has any errors, unusual characteristics, or looks like it's in pristine shape, get it checked out. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want more tips on finding coins worth serious money, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We're always uncovering new hidden treasures, and you don't want to miss out. Hey, coin hunters! Have you ever found a penny in your pocket, shrugged, and tossed it in the change jar? Well, hold on to your hats because that little copper-colored coin from 1982 with a tiny D mint mark could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.7 million. Yes, you heard me right. That's not a typo. Today, we're diving into the surprising value of the 1982 D Lincoln penny and why this seemingly ordinary coin is making collectors go absolutely crazy. So, before you empty that coin jar, make sure you stick around to find out if you're sitting on a fortune, but don't worry, I promise to keep it fun. 1982 was a year of big changes for the Lincoln penny. Before then, pennies were made of solid copper. But due to rising copper prices, the US Mint had to get creative. So, mid-year, they switched from 95% copper pennies to a cheaper zinc core with just a thin copper coating. Here's where things get interesting. Some pennies from that transitional period were mistakenly struck on the old copper planchets instead of the new zinc ones. And guess what? That's what makes this particular 1982 penny so insanely valuable. The key is the weight. The old copper pennies weigh 3.11 grams, while the new zinc ones weigh 2.5 grams. If you happen to find a 1982 penny that weighs 3.11 grams, congratulations! You've hit the jackpot. A regular 1982 penny is worth, well, 1 cent. But if you have one of the rare copper ones, the price skyrockets. In a recent auction, one of these bad boys sold for a whopping $1.7 million. Imagine walking into a store, paying for a candy bar with a penny, and later realizing you just handed over $1 million coin. Ouch. Alright, time for a quick personal story. A few years ago, I was digging through my grandfather's old coin collection. He wasn't a hardcore collector, just the kind of guy who liked to save change. As I was sifting through, I found a 1982 penny and got way too excited. I grabbed a scale, weighed it, and 2.5 grams. Heartbreak. But hey, at least now I know what to look for, and so do you. First, never underestimate the power of a penny. Second, if you have a 1982 penny, weigh it. And third, always check your change before you spend it, because that little copper coin in your pocket might just make you a millionaire. If you loved this video and want more tips on valuable coins, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on the next rare coin that could change your life. And if you've ever found a valuable coin, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your story. Until next time, happy treasure hunting. Hey, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Have you ever looked at a simple penny and thought, it's just a penny worth 1 cent, right? Well, what if I told you that one tiny copper coin from 1985 with a little D mint mark could be worth a staggering $1.8 million? That's right, folks. One single penny worth more than a Lamborghini, a dream house, or a lifetime supply of pizza. Okay, maybe not that last one, but still, it's wild. Today, we're diving into the surprising value of the 1985 Lincoln penny, why it's worth so much, and what you need to look for in your own collection. And stick around, because I'll also share a personal story about how I once almost threw away a valuable coin. Talk about a close call. Alright, let's get into it. The 1985 Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, hence the D mint mark, and at first glance, it looks like any other penny you'd find in your couch cushions. But there's a reason some of these coins are selling for over $1 million. It all comes down to a few key factors: rarity, errors, and condition. Not all 1985 pennies are valuable, but a rare batch had a minting error that made them incredibly sought after. The most famous mistake? A double die error. This happens when the design is stamped twice but slightly misaligned, causing a noticeable doubling effect, especially on Lincoln's face, the date, or the words Liberty. Another error that has been spotted? Off-center strikes. Some 1985 pennies were struck way off-center, giving them a funky, tilted look. Collectors go nuts for these kinds of mistakes. Then, there's the small but mighty difference in the metal composition. While most pennies from this year are primarily zinc with a copper coating, a few rare ones were accidentally struck on a pure copper planchet, making them extra valuable. Even if you've got a rare error, the value of your penny depends heavily on its condition. The best ones are graded MS67 or higher, meaning they are in near-perfect, uncirculated condition. If you've got a 1985 penny sitting in a jar, you might want to take a closer look. You could be sitting on a gold mine, or, should I say, a copper mine. Now, let me tell you a little story. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my car because, let's be real, it was starting to look like a fast food graveyard. I found a handful of pennies, and being the genius I am, I almost tossed them into a tip jar. But at the last second, something told me to check them. And what do you know, I had a 1972 double-die penny worth a few $100. I can't even imagine how many people have unknowingly spent valuable pennies on a pack of gum. So, lesson learned, always check your change. So, the next time you get a penny, don't just shove it in your pocket and forget about it. Take a second, check for errors, and who knows, you might just be holding a $1.8 million jackpot in the palm of your hand. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button and subscribe for more tips on coins worth big money. And if you've ever found a rare coin in an unexpected place, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your stories.